Hey everyone, we know how hard it can be to keep up with the latest news in Israel. So if you haven't had the time to stay on top of what's what in the Holy Land, we're here for you. I'm Ladar Gavelazi, and this is ILTV's Weekly Review.
Day 6 in the war with Hamas. The official death toll from the terrorist massacre has been adjusted to 1,300 after more bodies were recovered from border communities. The IDF says troops killed 3 Palestinian terrorists near the southern town of Nir Am who had been in Israel since Saturday. The army says it's now killed some 1,500 Palestinian terrorists inside Israeli territory since the terrorist invasion began. There was renewed rocket fire from Gaza after a lull overnight. This as the IDF carries out widespread airstrikes on Hamas sites across the Gaza Strip. The army announced it killed a senior member of Hamas naval force in Gaza overnight. The Hamas-run health ministry said some 1,100 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes in the Gaza Strip. Israel now has a national emergency government. Former Defense Minister Benny Gantz, who heads the National Unity Party, has joined the government. Gantz, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and Defense Minister Gallant form a war cabinet, and 4 more National Unity MKs will join a broader security cabinet. Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer and former Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot will now be non-voting participants in the security cabinet. Opposition leader Yair Lapid has not joined the emergency government, but that option is still a possibility. Gantz and the Prime Minister said that they decided to put politics aside to unify efforts on behalf of the nation. Millions of residents of northern Israel were sent to their shelters last night over what proved to be a false alarm over a mass border crossing of terrorist drones. The IDF said it's still checking whether it was a technical fault or human error that caused the mistake. Sirens sounded across the north with reports of 15 to 20 drones from Lebanon supposedly crossing into Israeli territory. Later, sirens sounded amid a suspected terrorist infiltration alert in towns along the border. There have been a number of cross-border incidents between Hezbollah and Palestinian terrorists and IDF forces on the northern border in recent days, and there is speculation over whether Hezbollah will enter the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza.
Experience the power of truth with ILTV News. If you're looking for quality content and captivating visuals, join our news community and become an integral part of our team as we embark on a mission to unveil the real Israel, dismantling the web of lies and misinformation that surround reporting on Israel. By subscribing to ILTV News, you will not only have access to the latest updates, but you will also amplify our message, creating a ripple effect that carries the truth far and wide. Subscribe today and help reshape the narrative. Available on the web, Android, and Apple.
Well, as Israel battles against Hamas and the entire country is under threat, unquestionably, the communities in southern Israel are being hit hardest with nonstop rocket fire and a difficult security situation. In some of the southern communities, Israelis were locked in rooms for upwards of 8 hours waiting for rescue, sometimes without food or water. Community members have also reported Palestinian terrorists going house to house, gunning down civilians, including family pets, and setting homes on fire with gas on to force civilians out to be executed. Over 100 have been taken hostage, including elderly and children. And as Israel works to secure their safety, they have already cleared out 22 towns that Palestinian terrorists infiltrated. Here with us to discuss the situation on the ground is Sarit Lesnick-Kurtzman, a resident of Kibbutz Alumim, which is on the Gaza border. Sarit, thank you so much for being with us at this incredibly difficult time. First of all, how are you?
It's a good question. Okay, we're okay. We're safe now in my parents' home near Jerusalem, and we're trying to stay optimistic and to stay strong.
Can you share with us more about what happened on Saturday from the start? Was your kibbutz specifically one of the kibbutzim that was targeted?
Yes. As you mentioned, I live in Kibbutz Alumim. We're about 4 kilometers from the border. And it began at 6:29. I woke up from the sound of the exiting of the Iron Dome. It's unfortunately a sound that we're very familiar with. And we know the drill. There's a siren. We have the red alert. So I ran. I grabbed my baby from her crib. and I brought her into the safe room, closed the door, and usually we wait about 10, 15 minutes, and then we can go out. But this time was different. We went into the safe room. It was Saturday. I'm a religious Jew, so I don't use electricity devices on Saturday. It was not only a regular Saturday; it was a holiday, and so we didn't really know what's going on, and the missiles just didn't stop. It was an attack, about a half-hour attack, which ended up being thousands of missiles. And me and my husband, which we have some experience by living in near the border, we decided we understood something's different. We understood something else is going on, and we straight away turned on our phone trying to understand. But there wasn't much information coming towards our way. At about 7:30, we got a message on the WhatsApp group, the security group of the kibbutz, and they said that there are terrorists on the kibbutz. Lock your doors and do not leave your safe rooms. We didn't believe, it sounded so unbelievable, something that we could never even imagine. So we just stayed in our safe room. My husband held the door for about 12 hours straight until we decided we have to open the door and get some water, get some food. I had to get food for my baby. She's a year old. I had to get diapers.
Did you know at the time if the Hamas terrorists were actually in the kibbutz while you were in the safe room? Did they try to enter your house?
So, like I said, there's some sounds that we're very used to hearing. We're used to hearing the Iron Dome. We're used to hearing some tanks. We're used to hearing all of these missiles, and then we heard gunshots, and that's not something we're used to hearing outside our window. Our story is actually pretty amazing. It's really our emergency team of the kibbutz, which they aren't combat soldiers on their day-to-day basis. These are normal fathers, normal parents who work in different. Everyone is in a different. None of them are actual soldiers in their day-to-day life, and they all got their guns, and they met the terrorists by the back gate of the kibbutz, and were able to stop them from coming in to the kibbutz, to where we live. Unfortunately, the terrorists got into where the Thai workers live. We have a place where they live near the barn, near the agriculture area. They slaughtered the Thai workers that we have. It's workers that come from abroad to help out and work on the kibbutz. They slaughtered them, kidnapped some of them. Some are still missing. And because they started there, the Thai workers were able to ask for help, and that's when the emergency group came and really stopped them there. Some of our friends got injured, but thank God they're all okay now. They're all alive, and our whole entire community owes them. We owe them our life. They saved our lives by being heroes and fighting, and they killed at that moment 10 terrorists. About 30 terrorists invaded at that moment. Later on during the day, we kept on getting more messages of more terrorists trying to invade from different gates. We have a few entrances to the kibbutz, and they tried entering every entrance, and every single time they were stopped by our emergency group, and at some point when the army joined. But it sounds
like an incredibly stressful situation. I just want to commend you for your courage and strength, even now, being able to speak about such a traumatic experience. And unfortunately, we're out of time, but I just want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And please know that we are supporting you, and there are millions of people around the world who are standing in solidarity with the people of Israel and Israel's southern communities specifically at this difficult time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.